This video's made for adult collectors because bro got war crimed in the movie.
Free at last! Make Megatron up! Free at last!
Nitro Zeus was probably most people's favorite and only favorite thing about The Last Night, and his toy came out and was kind of hard to get here. My mother had to go to a Target in Virginia in order to find this while visiting my uncle. She just happened to be there and was like, oh look, that's what he's been looking for. And I was so excited to finally have this toy, and then I tried to transform it and had such an issue till I finally figured it out. Yeah, the instructions have never been great, but that part isn't uncommon with other people and this toy, so I'll show you how to properly get everything fit together. But this toy was so good at the time, it still kind of holds up. I've made a video on this in the past, far in the past, and it's a pretty shit video because it's old and I've definitely improved since then, so I figured I'd look at this again. Totally not doing this because the thing I wanted to make a video on today is still stuck in shipping. God damn it, DHL, you're making me mess up my own sentences. No, I still wanted to talk about this mold again though. It gives me a good excuse to do so. This mold, I like it so much that when they did a Studio Series version of it in blue and made it a character that wasn't even in the film, it became, and still is, my favorite Studio Series figure. It speaks volumes about the 2017 Voyagers. People tend to write off the Last Night toy line because Dragonstorm and Steelbane came from it, but like, it had a lot of bangers. Actually, who did this mold? Oh, Warden. Thanks, Warden. This toy, though, I kind of ruined it by trying to customize it, and it ended up looking poopy, but hey, I did snag another one of these for below current retail off Buy sealed, so that should be here soon, and I can replace this one, which I've panel aligned the alt mode and painted one of the eyes red. Not a fan of young me for doing that. But all that aside, this isn't accurate at all. It's accurate to this, a piece of concept art, and I really want a version based off the film design with modern articulation and engineering, because I think a modern Voyager of this would be baller. In the film, he's shorter and squatter, he has a different head, a wider upper torso, different right arm, hose, different colors, turns into a sob. This toy doesn't. It's one of the times where I really care about accuracy, seeing as this is one of my favorite Bay characters that got, again, literally war crimed off screen. I do like the details all over this dude. The arrows on the torso, the smooth knees, that's what I like the most. I really like the shape of those knees. In the film, they're like rounded and they replicate that pretty well here. They bend and you can fold the knee pad down to follow the shape they had in the film even more when he walks, so that's very cool. He doesn't have ankle tilts though, which means he looks weird in certain poses, but he still looks cool and intimidating if you can get him at the right angles. He does get really limber in the film, and you can't really do that on this toy, which is a bit disappointing. I do like the concept head though. I wish it was more accurate, but this one still looks pretty cool. Although I'm so mad I painted the yellow eye red. It looks so cool when it's yellow. The wings being thrusters is a very, very nice touch on the back. The only real kibble that he has here that isn't supposed to be there is the tail fins, and I do like the gun. It looks cool, but the other arm is interesting because it points backwards in the film, and there is a mod you can do to make that so by simply popping off the friction hinged pointy bits and flipping them around and then popping them back on, and it's backwards now. That's how I display it. Oh, and he's Headmaster compatible too, because something canceled scene where Cogman takes over his dead body and saves the humans still allows for a great customizing potential. Actually, Toy Hacks has a sheet for this guy where you can completely turn it into a different character. So this is very 2017 in the way it does its articulation, because it's, you know, we're so used to things. Oops, I hit the camera. We're so used to things like waist swivels, ankle tilts, wrist swivels, and all that sort of stuff nowadays. This doesn't have any of that. The head is on a very expressive ball joint. Like, it can go wherever. Oh, I ripped it out. Headmaster. It can go. It's a little bit wobbly on this one, but on Thundercracker, it's not wobbly at all. Versus on Nitro Zeus where it wiggles. But you can get so much range out of this, and then if you unpeg the transformation joint at the base of the neck, he can look up that far, so that's very good. These shoulders, they can rotate, they can do a full 360, they can go in and out, the shoulder pads can move out of the way. If you move them forward, the shoulder pads will get in the way of the thrusters, but the thrusters can move, so you can get the shoulders out. Like, they thought of that, I like that, and these can, like, pivot. Now the elbows, well, they do bicep joints. The elbows, this elbow bends 90 degrees. And I gotta bring in Thundercracker for this because this elbow does not bend 90 degrees. It's as far as it goes. On Nitro Zeus though, if you take a look, I've cut this section out here to allow this elbow to bend 90 degrees. That's all you got to do. And it doesn't visually like hurt anything, and it doesn't hurt like any tabbing or any sort of stuff like that. It still works. So yeah, that's what I'm not doing it to my Thundercracker because I want to keep him pristine. And the new version of Nitro Zeus I will be getting, I'm not going to do that to either, but at least I have a version that has a 90-degree bend at the elbow. Nothing at the wrists, except this one can fold in because of transformation, and I've unpegged his crotch. Nothing at the waist either, because his crotch does this. So, yeah, there's no waist joint coming out of that. Oh, come on, peg back together. There we go. The hips can go forward that far. They can go back that far. You got in and out. You have thigh rotation. You have 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and then you can leave the knee pads up or fold them down to be film accurate. That's up to you. And the ankles can go down, and they can go up ever so slightly, but not by a lot. But that's, you look at his head wobble. But that is pretty much all he can do. On my Thundercracker, anytime I move this shoulder around, is it this one or is it this one? It's this one. It comes out, like it comes untabbed. I think the tab on this one is a tiny bit too shallow, because this one's completely fine. Like, it doesn't come out. But yeah, this one here does. Yeah, he's cool. I like him. So yeah, I wish he was more nimble and film accurate, but still a very cool robot. Now that transformation can be rough the first time, so let's do that. So I just moved the camera. The transformation is something that I see a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I see a majority of people who get this nowadays get confused with, because the instructions, they are terrible. They are not good. So I'm gonna try my best to walk you through it here step by step so you can see exactly how it works. And also because it's really cool. Like, you wouldn't expect this to transform the way it does, because a jet usually doesn't have its cockpit on its arm. It's usually on the back, in the chest, or wherever, I don't know. But like, it's very asymmetrical the way this works, and it's so cool. So to start with, we're gonna push the cannon up and fold up the hand. Then we're gonna take these sections here, fold them in like that, and then you're going to take this entire nose cone section and just fold it around the arm and peg it together to make the cockpit. And that's the arms pretty much prepped. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to remove the missiles, which, by the way, were entirely painted white, and then the pegs paint chipped. So that's fun. Don't paint these in white. The black works fine. But once you get that off, you're going to want to open up this section right here and very carefully pull up on the thruster a little bit to allow for this whole thing to unwrap. Because if you pull up too hard, I'll show you. You're going and you're like, oh, they just come off. That is a problem with this mold, is these are frictioned and not pinned on, so they do fall off quite a bit. But you fold that up, and you fold out these triangular bits to form the rest of the wing, and there you have the wings done. We're just going to leave them up and off to the side like that, bring that up. Now we get into the cool part. So you start with, you're going to push the head forward by the machine guns, fold it up, and then rotate it around. You want to take this leg and pull it out and forward. Then you want to take this leg and pull it out. Now, you want to take this arm and shift it out, like so. And you want it to be in this orientation right now. We're going to bring this around, fold it in, like so. Again, it needs to look like this. The shoulder pad needs to be open. Now you're going to slide this in on this double hinge, and then this gray piece is going to peg into this black piece. So you get that all sucked in like that. There you go. Then you can bring this section up and cover that up. Now on this side, you want to take this, bring that up as well. But then you want to take this section here and you fold it in like this, shoulder pad open. You bring it around like that and you fold the arm up like so and tuck the head in. And that's how you get the body tucked away. I see a lot of people get confused with that, so that's how that works. Then we're gonna rotate the legs 180 degrees. You're gonna fold the feet down and rotate them, and they will clip into here. So there is a clip hook tab thing right here that's gonna go into there. I had to remember, into there. So you're gonna want to take it and shove it into here like that. You wanna go on this angle, go down and in, like so. And then it pegs into the gun pegs into the foot at the back, and that's one leg lined up. And the legs are not asymmetrical, they work the exact same way. So you wanna get in there, squeeze it in, peg it into the back of the arm, like so. Make sure the cockpit's all pegged together. Now we can do the wings. So you bring this section down like that, clip the wings into place into the body, like so, and then there's a tab that goes in there and a tab that goes in there. So you're gonna wanna take this and just line everything up and squish it down like so. Line everything up, squish it down, fold this section back, peg it in, flip up the tail fin, and then the missiles will plug into the bottom to fill out like the kibble area. Like so. Fold out the landing gear, and that's the jet mode. It's not that difficult once you get the hang of it. You can see this horrible panel lining job I did. It just comes off in the heat because it's warm right now. Yeah. So this jet is not a Saab Gripen, but it looks cool. And there are those really shit panel lines that I did. Why did I do that? Please, fresh copy, come in soon. It's a nice looking jet though. I love how the entire cockpit section in black and how it just becomes gray with the wings. The kibble is a lot because haha, jet formers always look like this. But the way it sort of just melds into the rest of the jet makes it stick out a lot less than you might think. It's a pretty big jet too. Like he's very long for being a Voyager from 2017. The missiles plug into the bottom of the wings. He has fold out landing gear and an opening cockpit which fits Titan Masters. I love that. And it has a nice hand feel, very swooshable. Though Thundercracker's plastic, and I'd assume KSI Boss's plastic, feel a lot nicer than Nitro Zeus's. Like they feel a little bit denser and a little less flaky. I just like it. It's a nice toy. I really want KSI Boss to complete the set because this mold is so fun, but I also really do think it needs a redo. A new Studio Series one would be great. Evan, Sam, please make Studio Series Nitro Zeus. I will buy like 5, but that's my look at the last night Nitro Zeus. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.